The Youngevity UK and Europe Show with Dr. Wallach.
Hi, my name's Jonathan Smith. Welcome to the Youngevity UK and Europe Show with Dr. Wallach. Each week we'll go through the Dead Doctors Don't Lie show and handpick information regarding people's specific health concerns. So listen now as Dr. Wallach gives his expert advice on how to deal with the root cause of illness and disease nutritionally. If you would like further information on the products recommended in the show, they can be found in the description below the video. Enjoy the show.
The Youngevity UK and Europe Show.
Well, today I want to talk about the bad seeds. You remember the movie, right? Remember the movie, Bad Seeds? And this is based on a book by Robert Louis Stevenson, published in 1886, who recognized really weird behavior of people. It was sort of like the subtitle was The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, 1886. And, you know, you look kind of through things, and there was a medical doctor in 4 years' time, between 1891 and 1895, Dr. Herman Mudgett, I believe it was, he was from Chicago. He killed and ate 200 of his patients. Now, a description of some of the goings-on here of the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde thing is a description out of this book from Robert Louis Stevenson, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I'm going to quote him now. It says, he had in his hand a heavy cane with which he trifled. He answered never a word and seemed to listen with an ill-contained impatience. And then, all of a sudden, he broke out in a great flame of anger, tramping and stamping his foot while brandishing the cane and carrying on, as the maid described it, like a madman. The old gentleman who was listening took a step back with the air of a very much surprised and a trifle hurt. And at that, Mr. Hyde broke out of all bounds and clubbed him to the earth. And the next moment, with ape-like fury, he was trampling his victim underfoot and hailing down a storm of blows under which his bones were audibly shattering under the body as the body jumped upon the roadway. Well, the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde syndrome is very distinctive, very descriptive of children, teens, or even adults who at one moment, turn from being little angels and salts of the earth to monsters, many of whom are in their rage assault and kill friends, siblings, parents, and spouses, and workmates, and abusive adults who hurt or kill their spouse and children. The sad part is most of these people oftentimes are labeled bad seeds. Don't need counselors or psychiatrists. They need nutritional advice, okay? Particularly advice about mineral requirements and no sugar diets, okay? Here's where you want to get the book, Rare Earths Forbidden Cures, read Chapter 6. You want to get a hold of Chapter 11 and learn how to collect hair, how to box it up, where to ship it. 2 or 3 weeks, you get the results back and learn how to look at the results, okay? Unfortunately, many of these individuals are certainly going to wind up in jail and hurt and even kill somebody before anyone pays attention. American jails are full of such wasted, mineral-deficient souls. What kind of society are we that approves of methamphetamines, tranquilizers, and opioids, and uppers and downers, but not mineral supplements? The Mr. Hyde side of the child may be cute or frustrating, depending on your mood at the time. However, the Mr. Hyde side of the teenager or adult of any age with a hammer, okay, or a cigarette lighter in their hand can be pretty scary. Each year, 1,000 to 1,500 American children under the age of 18 are arrested for murder or manslaughter following their explosive rages. Most are apparently senseless acts of unrelated to the drugs or gang warfare or anything like that, and these killings far outweighing the stated cause of the attack. I shot my mother and father because they made me do my homework instead of letting me go to the mall with my friends. The Menendez brothers, 35 years old, who murdered their parents in cold blood, okay, and they allegedly murdered their parents because they were, when they were kids, going back to when they were kids, they were 35 years old when they killed their parents, are a perfect example of sociopathic individuals. 25% of Americans are under the age of 18, and approximately 11% of all people arrested for murder and manslaughter under the age of 18, 16,326, were reported in 1988. Of those, 1,765 were committed by juveniles. 85% of all juvenile killers are 15, 16, 17 years old. Less than 1% are under 15 years of age. 1988, 0.6% are 3 children under the age of 9 were committed. Murders were killed. 1,765 murders were committed by children under the age of 9. Okay, arrest figures or even court records do not reflect the true numbers of the bad seeds. Okay, now I'm going to tell you. I want you to get a hold of the book "Dead Doctors Don't Lie." Listen to the CD, watch the DVD, read the book "Dead Doctors Don't Lie." You want to get a hold of the book "Epigenetics," the death of genetic theory of disease transmission. Get a hold of the DVD, Praise the Lord and Pass the 90. Get a hold of the book, Rare Earths and Cures, and the CDs, Dead Athletes Don't Lie, and Exercise Without Supplementation and Suicide. Don't forget, read Chapter 11, get that hair analysis. And, of course, the reasons are we can prevent the sudden heart death, which is caused by a mineral deficiency. Okay, I've done 1,700 autopsies on the kids under the age of 10 that have died of those sudden heart deaths, hypertrophic cardiomyopathy heart disease. 1,700.
The Youngevity UK and Europe Show with Dr. Wallach.
Thanks for listening to this week's show. If you're listening on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and for more info on the products mentioned in this week's show, check out the links in the description.